Old Testament? Like that it on
Boss
some
man will
like
come in here and correct
kind of
me. Hold
weird,
on.
scary stuff in
What's
the Old
up,
Testament.
Jacob?
I don't agree with,
What's
but
going on, boss man?
Not much. What's up, gentlemen? Um, so Jacob and I have talked about this before, as far as the whole Lot and his daughter situation, and I agree that it's something that is extremely difficult to to understand, if you could understand it at all. Or
comprehend.
I definitely don't endorse that. However, we have to look at the time, and back then women were not, they were second, maybe third or fourth class citizens, and unfortunately that's just kind of how it was. And when you had a visitor to your at your house, they were your main um, priority. Protecting your visitor at that time was it. If anything happened to that visitor, it was considered a um, what's the word I'm looking for, Jacob? Like it was shameful. You might even be ostracized.
Dishonor to your
It was
family.
an offense.
So that's just to give you a little bit of context. I cannot, and I told Jacob, I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, he did the right thing, because I don't understand it. But it has a lot to do with the culture back then, and the times that
For me, the only way I could actually get any like calming in that story is to know what Lot's mindset was in the whole process of it. You know what I mean? And know his relationship with his daughters or something like that. Like it almost make me wonder if that was any kind of a sacrifice for him to do that.
I don't know.
That makes like yeah, kind of like yeah, that makes sense. Like some other stories.
It's a tough story. It's something that you wouldn't want to have to go through for sure at any time. Whether
It sounds similar to like the lots or the wait, was Lot the same one who was like had everything taken from him? Or I think it's Job. Yeah,
that's Job.
Job. Sounds like a Job story, and it also sounds like Isaac and Abraham story. If you're saying sacrifice,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which is weird level of faith, scary,
Yeah.
kind of.
To test.
But then if you read what Yeshua says, there's like no need for any of that anymore. I guess I don't know why, but rituals, sacrifice, all that.
Because he was sacrificed.
That's why I'm convinced it's two different gods that we're talking about between the Old
Yeah, me
Testament and the
too.
New Testament.
No, it's the same God.
Yahweh.
I don't know. Even the Gospel of Mary Magdalene says that like they're kind of different. Like the creator of this world that created matter isn't the same God as his
We're
father.
not allowed to talk about. We're not allowed to talk about the books of Mary Magdalene. It's not in the
Ooh,
Bible.
the Gnostics. Yeah, we're not no Gnostic texts. But then I
Oh
swear I
wow.
tried to find this verse and I can't find it, like the Mandela effect, Mandela, whatever.
Oh yeah, the Mandela effect. Well, I'm still trying to figure out where the original what's it called scroll was that they were talking about that has the part where Jesus kissed Mary on her blank, and like the part of the scroll is like messed up and they can't tell what the text was. I've still been
There's
trying
like
to figure that one out.
7 missing pages or 3 missing pages of that book.
Well, it's like a
Scroll.
scroll that's got like a chip in it, and it was chipped out where because you just roll it onto a piece of paper, and that's how they do the words. And
Oh,
I'm
it
like,
was the
oh, okay.
print.
Yeah,
Oh,
the print was ruined.
why would they print that? Like in a, they made a press for it. That was why would they making so many? And how come there's not that many to be found?
Oh yeah, that's true. I wonder how
That's
many
weird.
original presses there was. Because there's
Suppression.
probably what was that?
Exactly.
Well, they
That's what
weren't
I'm saying.
presses back then. They were handwriting all that stuff.
Well, if they
Yeah.
found the press, then they were mass producing it.
Well, no, because they were probably going around burning books at the time too. So
And that's
if
what I'm
you were
saying.
going around burning books, then you'd want to keep something like
And they
that. 'Cause
burned the people. They didn't only burn books, they burned people. They
Li-
burned people who, like people's mouth that kept running. They burned the people too whose mouth was.
and
Holy
libraries. The
witches.
Library of Alexandria burned.
Yeah,
Thousands of
right.
years lost in our timeline.
look, if back then they would have, have you ever heard about birthmarks and like hair calyx? How calyx and birthmarks can mean past life type shit.
I have a story on that.
Yeah, what? Okay, I would love to hear it.
I have a birthmark on the back of my head in a perfect circle right here, and I had a dream where I got shot there, reincarnated in another body, woke up on a couch when I was using a massage gun on my head. I could show you if you want. It's on the back right there.
Damn, it is a perfect circle.
But you said you
Not
had a dream. You had a dream
in that
about it.
dream. Yeah, I got shot in the back by my own soldier because I was getting captured, and they didn't want me to get captured.
You know if it was an older war?
But you said you remembered it while you were taking a warm shower, and it clicked into your head.
No, I was dreaming. Did I say that?
No. No, you didn't.
I said I
That
was
a
Did you ever
massage.
get anything about him in a warm shower?
But I didn't die in the dream. I woke up in another body in the opposite. I was using the opposite on my head like a joke, like what do they call that? A massage gun? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
That's
a
exactly
relief,
what it's
like
called.
a sigh, like I reincarnated.
What? I believe in reincarnation. I do, dude.
I've had 6 dreams of reincarnation.
I don't have any like knowledge of reincarnation, but what I've put together, I do believe in it.
Well, you talk about like kids coming at like 4 or 5 years old with these stories that they remember their whole past life. To me, it's not even questionable at this point.
I just think it's weird when they get to a certain
I'll say I
age.
have a 1% category in my brain that I won't add to the variables to keep an open mind, but I think it's real.
Oh, yeah.
You meet
I
these
think it's
talented people that
significant
just
that
know how to play
they have-
piano all of a sudden and shit.
They have intuition with animals. Kids have a higher sense of a lot of things going on because then they lose it at a certain age.
I was
Do you
attacked
think-
in my mind
Second.
spiritually at 5 years old, and I knew how to defend myself. Like it was against Satan, like weird.
I think animals are becoming more relationable. Like people are having more closer. I could be wrong, but are animals becoming more relatable to animals? Like you have like therapy alligators now. You have like people like having a relationship with snakes and shit, like monitors. Am I right or wrong? This shit, like
You're right. Well, the story goes before sin was in the world and we were like at source, call it the Garden of Eden if you want. In other texts, you might call it Shambhala or something, where the world's at peace and we've thrived and we've reached a place of creativity, art, love, and like culture, like, right? So then they said this animal's not used to eat each other and the animal's not used to fight each other. Sin did it when we entered it into the world, and that's when we started eating meat and everything. The tree of life gave us enough food and it gave shelter to everyone.
So Pandora's box can't be closed. How would you reach that?
You can
level again?
fix the timeline.
well, I see evidence. Like I've been into animals. I've loved animals my whole life, and I didn't used to think you could have a relationship with like a wild snake. But when I moved here, I had a relationship with the wild snake. And like
You're gonna get bit by a
I'm
snake.
starting to begin. I'm seeing all this evidence online that people are having all these crazy, like intimate relationships with all type of animals. I'm not talking about sex. I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about like
I know.
And no one thought you were talking about that.
non-sexual
Thank you for
intimacy.
clarifying. Yes.
Non-sexual intimacy, and it's really changing my mind on is it some type of evolution that's a timeline, or what's exactly going on, dude? Is it always,
Maybe they're crying out back for like what's happening to the earth. I don't know. Maybe like it's too
great.
late. I don't know. Like,
Dude, I feel that answer deep in my side of my heart, but the bottlenecking of time is one term I can attempt to convey it.
I always feel like
There's a bottlenecking of time. Like when he sat back and drank that shit, the alcohol. When I drink my fucking beer, there's the neck of the bottle, and then it goes in that the time is running fucking out. Understand?
Yeah,
on some level.
But what is time? It is time for real. Like some people say that is there another side of the fucking like an hourglass? There when the
I
time
learned
runs out.
this yesterday. Someone explained to me the difference between linear time and vertical time. Vertical
Yeah,
time is when you dream, when you're outside of time. When you think outside of time, your timeline, your ego, your flesh, like you could think outside of it because you're not tied to the future or being pulled. You're not tied to the past and being sucked. You're the present being stuck. You're
yeah.
going up. Like,
All times occur all at once.
yes.
So the only people that are stuck dealing with time are the people that are on this planet awake, going by clocks and time zones. Like if you're
Yes.
not traveling across this planet and dealing with it here, then if you're on the astral, if you're anywhere else, then your time's not linear anymore.
I think astral's below dream state, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
It goes even higher.
yeah. Because that's
Astral's
why
like
when
1
people
out of
do
11.
that's why when people get visions of past events or something like that, when they're tapping into either what you'd call the astral or the Ashikuric, what is it, Ashikuric records,
Akashic, yeah, same thing.
Akashic, yeah. Whether you're tapping into those or whatever it is, they're they're tapping into a higher consciousness and like a universal consciousness, and they're able to actually travel more at will when they're not actually bound by other things. But yeah, that's why I mean I've always believed in like astral projecting, um, things along that nature, and I think hallucinogens are definitely a shortcut to it.
Okay.
I've
You say you believe in astral projecting. Have you done it yet?
yeah,
Okay, just curious because I was gonna say you should try it.
yeah,
I
no,
did
I've
it
done
the
it.
first try at 18 years old through a guided meditation I downloaded on the iPhone App Store for free, and it worked the first time.
I did it after I started dabbling with Ouija boards when I was younger, and
Ooh,
had a
that's a different
way
energy
too
source,
much.
probably.
Yeah, but the time zone, the timeline for when it works, dead time, which is weird, dead time and the time between for me awake and asleep is like midnight to 3 in the morning. And that's where I can be super tired and half awake and half asleep at the same time and still be kind of like coherent enough to travel. Because that's the only time I can do it is like that point of awake and asleep, unless I'm under the influence of something.
I see.
Yeah.
I haven't tried. I just don't try. But my goal when I sleep is to stay awake. That's why I dream every night. I don't sleep. I don't black out. I'm always thinking. I'm always playing a video game in my head. I'm always on live streams in my head, or I'm like, I'm thinking deeply about a new idea. Like last night, going to bed. Oh no, today, 2 hours ago, I was napping. Four, four thought timelines in a row. I woke up thinking about such a deep, complex idea that I woke up can't remember it because it doesn't make any sense here.
Yeah.
And it happens to me every night. Invention ideas, psychological ideas, like
Well,
with
and
the way the
that's
brain might work.
such a good connection
Dude,
to
I had
something
a
like
dream
EMT.
about timber wolves in the fucking trees.
Timberwolves in the trees.
And they sat on the fucking bark.
Did you make
Were they
any
your
kind
friend?
of connection with that for yourself?
The dogs from my fucking past were friends with the timber wolves in the fucking trees.
Ooh,
And the timber wolves in the daytime, the timber wolves stay in the trees. At nighttime, the timber wolves come down out the fucking trees.
oh, so they're gens.
I don't know. No, I'm gonna say they're fucking gins. I think
Dogs
that
with gold eyes.
I
Are
think
they
that in
gens?
the day, I think that in the daytime, the timber wolves were fucking in the trees, and at nighttime, well,